Good evening, students. So good evening all of you. So welcome to Unacademy EAMCET YouTube channel, students. So myself Dr.Rajendra Prasad, biology educator on Unacademy platform. So in today's topic we are going to discuss about the topic, that is the name of the topic is the photorespiration. So photorespiration, it is a part of the photosynthesis lesson. So we'll be discussing about the photorespiration in this particular class. So before starting the class, as usual, I would like to introduce about our Unacademy Plus subscription students. So Unacademy is providing free YouTube classes daily on its Unacademy EAMCET YouTube channel, students. Apart from that, Unacademy is also providing free special live classes. So you can watch free special live classes, students, and duration is 60 minutes it is. And you can use my code Rajendra Live to access the free special live classes also, students. So apart from that, there is a subscriber. So subscriber course that is called Unacademy Plus. So Unacademy Plus is subscriber course, students. So that is for the students who subscribe to our classes. So that is for the students who subscribe our classes. So let us see what is importance about our Unacademy Plus subscription. So let us see the benefits of the Unacademy Plus subscription, students. So premium content. So if you purchase the Unacademy Plus subscription, students, so premium content will be available at affordable price. So structured live courses and dedicated live doubt clearing sessions will be taking place. So quizzes will be conducted regular interval, students, and batches. So lecturers will be in batches. You can choose the lecture of your interest, students. Then test series. So test series for daily practice and as well as full length mock tests also will be discussed by the respective educator, students. That is about our Unacademy Plus subscription. If you are interested, you can use my code Rajendra Live. So you can use my code Rajendra Live to watch the special free live classes. At the same time, you can subscribe using my code Rajendra Live, students. Then there is another batch. So recently, in the month of October, they have started Telugu batch. In this Plus course, what is importance of this Telugu batch is all the educators. So the shown educators all will be taking classes in Telugu language. So certainly it will be benefit for you. So what is the benefit of this Unacademy Telugu batches? Detailed explanation will be given in Telugu language, students. A complete syllabus will be covered. So intermediate first year and intermediate second year syllabus will be covered by the respective educators, and tips and tricks also will be given by the educator, students. So this all you can get for 1 month trial plan. So there is 1 month trial plan is available, that is 2,250 rupees. If you want to take the trial plan, you can use my code Rajendra Live and purchase this trial plan for 2,250 rupees, students. Then there is another batch that is called comprehensive batch. Either I am taking biology classes and sir is taking the physics and sir is taking the chemistry classes. What is importance of this comprehensive batch is also the main purpose is to complete the syllabus. Tips and tricks will be given by educators and topic wise practice papers and full length mock tests will be available, students. So this is all you can get for a 1 month plan of 2,250 rupees, students. If you are interested to purchase this 1 month trial plan, you can use my code Rajendra Live to purchase these particular plans. Then they are best long-term plans also available, students, at very low cost. So that is 6 months plan costing about 10,125 rupees and 12 months plan costing about 12,375 rupees, students. If you are interested to purchase these long-term plans, you can use my code. So you can use my code Rajendra Live to purchase this particular long-term plans of 6 months plan for 10,125 rupees and 12 months plan for 12,375 rupees, students. So this is about our Unacademy Plus subscription. Let us move to the today's topic, that is about the photorespiration in this class. So let us see in photorespiration. So what happens in photorespiration actually? So we know that this is the general equation that is taking place in the photosynthesis. So during the process of photosynthesis, what happens in C3 cycle? If you see in C3 cycle in Kelvin cycle, so if you see what happens is RUBP. So RUBP react with carbon dioxide to produce 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So that is taking place in the presence of enzyme. That is the name of the enzyme is called as a Rubisco. So but during the process of photorespiration, so in photorespiration what happens? Let us see in photorespiration actually. So in photorespiration, if you see, so if you see in photorespiration, what happens is, so RUBP In photorespiration, what happens is RUBP this RuBP react with carbon dioxide. So RuBP react with carbon dioxide to produce only one molecule of 3-PPGA will be produced. So one molecule of phosphoglyceric acid. So one molecule of phosphoglyceric acid and other one molecule is phosphoglycolate is produced. Phosphoglycolate. So these are the two products that are formed during the process of the photorespiration. So what is the reason for this production is because this process taking place in the presence of enzyme Rubisco. So we know that Rubisco, if you see the full form of Rubisco, it is the Rubisco full form is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase and oxidase. So this is Rubisco. So Rubisco is the enzyme that is involved in the process of photosynthesis in C3 plants. So if you see the Rubisco, so if you see the full form of Rubisco, it is ribulose 1,5-biphosphate carboxylase and oxygenase. So this Rubisco is having, it is a dual enzyme. So it is having two enzymatic activity, that is called as a, that is the reason it is called as a dual enzyme. It has two enzymatic activities. It is having carboxylase activity, it is having oxygenase activity. It is a dual enzyme actually. It is having carboxylase activity, it is having the oxygenase activity. So that is the reason. So in the process of RuBP, when RuBP react with carbon dioxide in the C3 cycle, in the Kelvin cycle, what happens is here RuBP carboxylase is active. So RuBP carboxylase. So carboxylase enzyme will be active here. So because of that reason, you are getting two molecules of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Whereas in the process of photorespiration, what happens is the carboxylase will become inactive. So carboxylase will become inactive and the oxygenase will become active. So oxygenase will become active. So oxygenase is the enzyme. So RuBP oxygenase is the enzyme that is involved in the photorespiration. So what happens here is, what are the conditions for photorespiration? If you see photorespiration, when does it takes place means, so photorespiration takes place when there is high amount of oxygen. So photorespiration takes place when high concentrations of oxygen, when there is high amount of concentration and high light intensity. So high light intensity and high temperature. So whenever these conditions are existing, so high light intensity, high temperature. So whenever these conditions are existing, so what happens is photorespiration takes place. So when do photorespiration takes place is whenever there is high amount of oxygen, high light intensity, high temperature. When these all conditions exist, what happens is photorespiration takes place. So the oxygenase, RuBP oxygenase or oxygenase will be active. When oxygenase is active, what happens is it converts RuBP into the 3-phosphoglyceric acid plus phosphoglycolate. So finally during the photorespiration, what happens is the products formed is 3-phosphoglyceric acid and one molecule of 3-phosphoglyceric acid and phosphoglycolate is formed. And in the enzyme, so the enzyme that is involved in the photorespiration is, it is the oxygenase is the enzyme that is active during the process of the photorespiration. So why oxygen is active is because the photorespiration takes place under certain conditions. What are the certain conditions where photorespiration is taking place is, it requires high amount of oxygen, high amount of light intensity, high amount of temperature. So when all these conditions are existing, certainly what happens is photorespiration will be taking place. So what is importance of photorespiration, and let us see is it helpful or not. So before that, let us see the cycle. What happens during the process of the photorespiration? If you see the photorespiration, so photorespiration is taking place at the 3 locations. It is taking place at the 3 sites actually. So 3 locations are 3 sites. What are the 3 sites? You can see here. It is taking place in the chloroplast. So it is taking place in 3 organelles. Photorespiration takes place in 3 organelles. It is taking place in the chloroplast. It is continuing its cycle in peroxisomes and mitochondria. So photorespiration takes place in 3 organelles. So photorespiration takes place in the 3 organelles. Photorespiration is also called as C2 cycle. So there is other name. There is other name for photorespiration. So what is other name is, it is also called as a C2 cycle. It is also called as a C2 cycle. So why it is called C2 cycle is because, so the name it is called glycolate. So glycolate is a 2-carbon compound. So that is the reason it is called as a C2 cycle. So the locations where photorespiration is taking place is in a plant cell. So photorespiration takes place in the chloroplast, peroxisomes and mitochondria. So you can see here in the chloroplast, RUBP react with oxygen, okay, and low carbon dioxide. So we were discussing previously. So high amount of oxygen is required, high light density, high temperature, at the same time low carbon dioxide. So low carbon dioxide is also the another important factor we should remember actually. So to undergo photorespiration, these all conditions are required. So high amount of oxygen, high light intensity, high temperature and low amount of carbon dioxide. Because of the low amount of carbon dioxide only, carboxylase enzyme becomes inactive, and due to presence of high amount of oxygen, oxygenase enzyme will be active. When oxygenase enzyme is active, what happens is RUBP, ribulose 1,5 biphosphate, is converted into phosphoglycolate, 1 molecule of phosphoglycolate and 1 molecule of phosphoglyceric acid. So later it will be converted into glycolate, and this glycolate enters into peroxisomes, and further it will be converted into glyoxylate and later to glycine, and glycine again enters into mitochondria and serine, and again serine enters back into peroxisomes and into glycerate. So like that what happens is cycle continues. And what are the important things which we have to remember is the intermediate compounds. In the intermediate compounds, especially the intermediate amino acids, if you see the intermediate compounds which are amino acids in this C4, in this particular C2 cycle is, you can see different types of amino acids here which are acting as an intermediate compounds. So we can see glycine, then we can see serine, so glycine and serine, so these are the two amino acids which are acting as an intermediate compounds in this particular C2 cycle or this photorespiration. So hi, good evening. So good evening Sumasri, good evening. So welcome to Unacademy EAMCET YouTube channel, students. So we are discussing the multiple choice. We will be discussing the multiple choice also after this on photorespiration. So this photorespiration is actually considered as a wasteful process. So here what happens is photorespiration is a wasteful process. So it is a wasteful process actually. So why it is called as a wasteful process is because 1/4 of the carbon dioxide fixed. So 1/4 of the carbon dioxide fixed by plants is lost actually. So 1/4 of carbon dioxide fixed by the plant is lost actually. So that is one of the important point. Why photorespiration is considered as a wasteful process actually, sir. Okay. So 1/4 of carbon dioxide fixed by the plant is lost in the form of the carbon dioxide. 1/4 of the carbon dioxide fixed by the plant is lost during the process of this particular photorespiration. At the same time, this photorespiration do not produce. They don't produce any ATP, or they don't produce any NADPH. So that is the another reason. So no production. There is no liberation, or there is no production of ATP and as well as NADPH. So in C4 plants, photorespiration do not takes place. So photorespiration do not takes place in C4 plants. So photorespiration does not take place in the C4 plants. So photorespiration takes place only C3 plant, students. So that is about the photorespiration. Let us discuss some multiple choice questions on this particular topic. Okay, Sumasri, no problem. So okay, students, let us see the multiple choice questions of this particular topic, that is photorespiration. Let's see the first question. Which of the following is correct? So which of the following about correct about photorespiration? That is the first question. So we are discussing in today's class that photorespiration is a wasteful process, so it is a correct, no doubt about it. Statement A is correct. Here ATP is utilized, there is no synthesis of ATP, so statement B is, option B is wrong. So ATP is not at all utilized, or it is nothing as such. So release of carbon dioxide, there is no release of carbon dioxide. They take carbon dioxide, but in that the amount of carbon dioxide in that 1/4 of carbon dioxide is lost in the form of phosphoglycolate, and it is not helpful to the plants. So that is the reason it is called as a wasteful process. So certainly the answer is, it is the wasteful process. So option A will be our answer. Next question. So once again the same related question. So photorespiration is a wasteful process. So photorespiration is a wasteful process because, so let us see the statement A. There is no synthesis of sugars. Yes, this is correct statement. During the process of photosynthesis, during the process of photorespiration, we have seen there is no synthesis of sugars. We can see in the diagram here, nowhere the synthesis of sugars is taking place. Only the glycine and serine are the intermediate amino acids we have seen here. So these are the intermediate amino acids that are involved in the photorespiration. These are the amino acids that we have seen, but there is no production of any sugars in this particular process. So certainly it is, if there is no sugars, the main purpose of photosynthesis is to synthesize sugars, and photorespiration is also a part of the photosynthesis, but there is no synthesis of sugars. Because of that reason, it can be considered as a wasteful process. Then there is no synthesis of ATP and NADPH. So we already have seen the metabolic reactions in the chloroplast, peroxisomes, and as well as in the mitochondria. What are the reactions that are taking place? In none of the reactions ATP synthesis took place. So certainly this is also a correct statement. So there is no synthesis of ATP, or there is no synthesis of NADPH is taking place during the process of photorespiration. So certainly it is also a wasteful process. Then there is no synthesis of phosphoglycerate. So there is one molecule of phosphoglycerate is synthesized. So there is only a single molecule. So that is in the form of 3-phosphoglycerate, 3-PGA. So 3-phosphoglycerate. Okay, only one molecule is synthesized. So now this is so that is the reason. So best statement, if you see, A and B. So we can take option D as answer. So photorespiration is a wasteful process. Why? Because it is not involved in synthesis of any sugars. It is not involved in synthesis of any ATP nor NADPH. So that is the reason it is considered as a wasteful process. Now let us move to the next question. So what is happening during photorespiration? So during photorespiration, we were discussing the Rubisco enzyme. So we were discussing that Rubisco enzyme is a dual enzyme. So if you see the Rubisco enzyme, so like this Rubisco enzyme can be denoted as, now this is the Rubisco enzyme. You can see here Rubisco, this is one active site, this is another active site. It is a dual enzyme. Rubisco is a dual enzyme actually. It is having carboxylase activity, it is having oxygenase activity. In this enzyme, now this is the active site. Now this is the active site for carbon dioxide, and this one, this can act as an active site for oxygen. So when carbon dioxide bind, so what happens is carboxylase will be active. So carboxylase enzyme will be active. When oxygen binds, oxygenase enzyme will be active. So oxygenase enzyme will be active. So once again we have to remember that Rubisco enzyme, which is participating in the photosynthesis, is a dual enzyme. It has two enzymatic activities. So what are the two enzymes? It is carboxylase enzyme, another one is oxygenase enzyme. So during the process of photorespiration, what happens is there is low amount of carbon dioxide will be present. Okay, so due to presence of low amount of carbon dioxide, so due to low concentrations of carbon dioxide and high concentrations of oxygen, so what happens is it favors high concentration of oxygen and low concentration of carbon dioxide favors the enzymatic activity, that is oxygenase. Because of that reason photorespiration takes place. So that is what happening. So statement A is correct. So Rubisco binds to oxygen with help of enzyme oxygenase. So oxygenase is the enzyme that is involved in binding of the Rubisco with oxygen. So why oxygen is binding is because at that condition there is less concentration of carbon dioxide and high amount of oxygen is present. Because of that reason, oxygen will bind to Rubisco with help of enzyme oxygenase. So statement A is correct. Then if you see the next statement, phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate is produced. Yes, this is a right statement. So one molecule of phosphoglycerate and one molecule of phosphoglycolate both are formed. So that is also a right statement. Then sugars are not synthesized. Yes, no doubt about it. During the process of photorespiration, there is no synthesis of any sugar. Synthesis of sugars does not take place. So as sugars are not synthesized, this process is considered as a wasteful process. So based on this, we can conclude that all the statements are correct. So all the statements are correct in this particular question. So during the process of photorespiration, what happens is certainly the oxygenase enzyme will be active, which promotes the binding of oxygen to the Rubisco, and that leads to formation of the product, that is phosphoglycerate and phosphoglycolate. Okay, and because as sugars are not synthesized, this is considered as a wasteful process. So let us move to the next question. Photorespiration does not take place in C4 plants. So as we were discussing that photorespiration generally takes place. So photorespiration is also called as C2 cycle. So just now we were discussing the same thing. So this C2 cycle does not take place. Okay, it does not take place in C4 plants. In C4 plants, what happens is does not take place in C4 plants. So it only takes place in C3 plants. In C3 plants only photorespiration takes place. So what was the reason? That was the question. Let us see the statements. Statement A, let us see. Oxygen is not released in C4 plants during photosynthesis. So oxygen is not released in the C4 plants during the photosynthesis. So this is also, we can take this is also a right answer, no doubt about it. No, this is a right statement. Now let us go to the next question. Intracellular concentration of carbon dioxide is high in the bundle sheet cells, and it ensures Rubisco function as the carboxylase. So this statement is also right statement, no doubt. The CO2 concentrations will be high in bundle sheet cells. Okay, in C4 plants what happens is the C3 cycle. In C4 plants also C3 cycle takes place, and C3 cycle takes place in the chloroplast of bundle sheet cells. Okay, so because of that reason, so this statement is correct statement, right statement, but it is not applicable to the we cannot conclude that because the photorespiration does not take place in C4 plants is because of this statement. Okay, so let us get back to statement A after completing C and D. They are found in cold environment. So this is a wrong statement, no doubt this is a wrong statement. Then stomata opens during night time. So this is also wrong statement, not related. Now we have two best statements here. The first statement is telling that O2 is not released in the C4 plants during the process of photosynthesis. Whereas in the option B, it is telling that intracellular concentration of carbon dioxide is high in the bundle sheet cells, and it ensures Rubisco to function as carboxylase. So out of this we can take option B as a best answer. No doubt B will be a best answer. So A can also be the answer, but we will take B as a best answer because oxygen is also not released in C4 plants. Why? Because in C4 plants, in bundle sheet cells, the chloroplast of bundle sheet cells don't have photosystem 2. Photosystem 2 is absent here. In bundle sheet cells, what happens is photosystem 2 is absent. When photosystem 2 is absent, what happens? Here there is oxygen evolving complex also will be absent. But in case of the mesophyll cells, photosystem 1 is present. So there is a chance for release of O2 in the mesophyll cells of the C4 plant. So that is the reason we will take the option B as a right answer. So B will be also considered as a right answer, then compared to the A. So B will be the most relevant answer. Okay. Next question. Photorespiration. So photorespiration occurs because oxygen rather than carbon dioxide linked to. So rather than carbon dioxide linked to Rubisco enzyme in Kelvin cycle. Now this is a right statement. Then photorespiration occurs. So photorespiration occurs more in C4 than in C3. So it occurs more in C4 plants. So that is a wrong statement. So photorespiration takes place in C3 plants than compared to the C4 plants. Then statement C, you see, describes the uptake of carbon dioxide and release of oxygen. So this is also wrong statement. So finally the photorespiration. So option A. So option A will be the answer. So photorespiration occurs because oxygen rather than the carbon dioxide links to the Rubisco enzyme in the Kelvin cycle. So that will be the right answer. Next question. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? Which of the following statement is incorrect in relation to photorespiration? So let us see statement A. It is a characteristics of C3 plants. Now it is no doubt it is a right statement. It is a characteristic of C3 plant only. Photorespiration takes place only in C3 plants. So statement B. Rubisco binds to oxygen to form one molecule of phosphorus. So this is also a correct statement. So there is a synthesis of ATP or NADPH. So this is an incorrect statement. So there is no synthesis of ATP. There is no synthesis of NADPH. So it is a wrong statement. It occurs in the daytime only. So it occurs in the daytime. No doubt photorespiration, so term photo itself is indicating that there is light. In the presence of light only it is taking place. It certainly takes place only in daytime. So statement D is also correct statement. So according to question we want incorrect statement. So incorrect statement is, so statement C will be our answer. So it is the incorrect statement actually. Now let us see the another question. Match column 1 with column 2. So if we see the oxygen evolving complex. So where do we oxygen evolving complex is also called as a photolysis of water. So photolysis of water is called as a oxygen evolving complex. So what happens here is H2O. H2O is converted. So two molecules of H2O can produce 4 protons plus 4 electrons plus O2. So here you can see there is liberation of oxygen is taking place. So now this is called as oxygen evolving complex or photolysis of water. Then proton gradient concentration is used in synthesis of ATP. Then absorption of light at specific wavelength is the characteristics of pigment. Then photorespiration. So photorespiration takes place in the presence of high oxygen. So that is a like that we have this. So based on that we can choose our answer. So based on that we can, I think, the option A. So option A can be the best answer. So oxygen can be, A can be our best answer in this case. So let us see the Cranch anatomy. So Cranch anatomy bundle sheet cells have. So in Cranch anatomy what happens is bundle sheet cells have thick cell walls and they don't have intracellular spaces, and no doubt bundle sheet cells have large number of chloroplasts. So bundle sheet cells, presence of bundle sheet cells is a character feature of leaves of C4 plants. C4 plant leaves. So leaves of C4 plants have Cranch anatomy. So Cranch anatomy. So C4 plants, leaf of C4 plant shows Cranch anatomy. In this Cranch anatomy, the bundle sheet cells have thick walls, and the walls can be sometimes made up of sclerotic camatous tissue. And there is no intracellular spaces between the walls. And there is more number of chloroplasts will be present inside the bundle sheet cells. So this is about the today's photorespiration class, students. So this class is only for half an hour. So what I suggest to you is there is a description box is available below the link. So you can go to that link and you can join our free special classes on our Unacademy app student. So you can use my code Rajendra. You can see there is my code is there. You can use my code Rajendra to join our free special live classes. So you download the Unacademy app. You use my code Rajendra to open the free special live classes. And if you are interested, you can choose our subscribe plans. You can go for our paid subscription plans also. So before ending the session, once again I would like to introduce about our Unacademy Plus subscription students. So Unacademy is providing long-term plans. So here you can see there is a long-term plans. Best long-term plan is available, that is 6 months plan. 6 months plan costing around 10,125 rupees, and 12 months plan is costing about 12,375 rupees, students. So these are the best plans. So once again what I want to tell is, if you want to watch our free special live classes, below this there is a description box is available. So in that there is a link for special classes were given. You can open that link. If you are new to Unacademy, you just download the Unacademy app and choose the goal as Unacademy EAMCET, and you can use my code Rajendra Live so that you can watch these special free classes. And if you want to go for our paid courses, Unacademy Plus subscription, you can go for 6 months plan or 12 months plan. That is 6 months plan costing about 10,125 rupees, and 12 months plan costing about 12,375 rupees. So use my code Rajendra Live and join our special and plus courses, students. So that is end of today's photo respiration session. Thank you, students. So thank you for watching, and see you next class.